Mother Teresa of Calcutta has shown the world that works of mercy and compassion can of themselves be works of peace, and that the peace she brings transcends all politics. On a recent trip to the United States, her first since winning the Nobel Prize, she paused for a few minutes in the garden next to the convent of the Missionaries of Charity in the South Bronx, New York, and in the shadow of the high-rises, she talked about the prospects of peace in the world and about our own poverty here in America.
We don't have here poverty, maybe hungry for a piece of bread, but many shut-ins and people who have been forgotten, who have left alone, who are lonely, who feel unwanted, unloved. I think that's a very great poverty and more difficult to remove, to satisfy that hunger for love. It's much easier to give a hungry person a piece of bread and you have solved the difficulty. But a person who is hungry for love, for recognition, a little bit of joy, for a little bit of compassion, I think that hunger takes longer time to satisfy.
Is that what you mean when you say that the poverty in the West?
It's much more difficult to remove. You need greater love for Christ and greater, deeper faith.
But the same faith, though, and the same love.
Yes, same love, same faith, but deeper, a little more. It's greater generosity, I think. And I think with greater insistence on involving the people who could be that love and compassion to the people that we call shut-ins, the people who have been forgotten, who only come in from. That is why works like this of the sisters are very beautiful, because they are involving not only themselves in the service of the poor, but they are involving thousands of people to share the joy of loving.
You said that's a special love that the sisters, the Missionaries of Charity, have. The order is a very young order in comparison to many of the other orders in the church. Where do you think the real future in many years down the line? What sort of a course must they always remember, the Missionaries of Charity?
See, the future doesn't worry us because tomorrow has not yet come. And I don't know whether it will ever come. Yesterday is gone, so we have only today to try to love Jesus with our whole heart and soul. And as Jesus has said, I was hungry, I was naked, I was homeless, you did it to me. And so we cannot be busy with numbers, with future years. Today I find a hungry person, unlovable person who has nothing, who has nobody. I have to pour my love, because that person is Jesus. Distress in disguise, because he has said so. You did it to me. I was hungry. So it's very good, because that's why Jesus made himself bread of life, to satisfy our hunger for God. And then he makes himself the hungry one so that we can satisfy his hunger for our love. So that's why the Eucharist and the poor are so close to each other. They are one.
And that's what makes the Missionaries of Charity different from social workers.
Yeah. We really remember that it is he, then we are really contemplatives. If we pray the work, if we do it with Jesus, for Jesus, to Jesus, then we are contemplatives, because we are 24 hours with Jesus. And that's what I think makes the difference.
I know I've had a chance in the last day or so to speak to some of the sisters, and there's an incredible excitement when they know that you're coming. What is it that you want to say to them when you come to visit them, if you only have a short time?
Love one another as Christ loves each one of us, and grow in the likeness of Christ. People must be able, when they look up, to see only Jesus, the way we touch them, the way we love them, the way we serve them, with that conviction. That because the work is only our love for Christ in action. Our lives must be woven with the Eucharist to be able to radiate his love and his compassion, to become the sunshine of his love and compassion in the world.
Is that most importantly what you look for when a young girl thinks that she wants to join the order? Is that the most important thing that you look for?
I look in her if she has health of mind and body, if she has plenty of common sense, if she has ability to learn how to love, how to pray, how to learn language, and also if she has cheerful disposition. These are the four things that I look for. The rest can be acquired.
I guess it was Malcolm Muggeridge who said that within every saint there is a little bit of the clown. He says that in the book.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I suppose so. I don't know. It must be you also. Somebody asked me, what will you do when there'll be no more poor in the world? And I said, we'll be unemployed. Because we have been all called to be saints. Jesus has insisted on that, because sanctity is not the luxury of the few, it's a simple duty for us all. And this, we have been called, we have been created for that. That's why we have been created in the image of God. Even the man in the street has been created for greater things, to love and to be loved. That's why we owe them that love. And he's our brother, our sister, whoever they may be. Much of the disturbance and all the killing in the world is due to that. If a mother can kill her own child through abortion, what's left for others to do that to each other? As it is written in the scripture, even if mother could forget her child, I will not forget you. I have curbed you in the palm of my hand. But today the mother is forgetting her child. The impossible has become possible. And so people feel that if mother could do that, then there's no fear for me to do to you and you to me. That is why I think abortion is the greatest destroyer of peace in the world.
Not military strength, as people talk about, not the buildup of arms, but abortion.
I look at it like that. It's life. But same thing, whether you kill a person of age or you kill a person, the unborn child, life is life. 6 months baby is life. And a 60 years old person is life. A child of 1 year life. And that life is created in the image of God. Any murder is murder.
And your sisters?
Any killing is murder.
And that is why your sisters have opened the door and said,
yes, we'll fight abortion by adoption. And we do lots of natural family planning. We teach our people so that we help the country also. Since they are, we can help them to plan their family without committing sin, without destroying life. And our poor people, the beggars, the lepers are doing it very beautifully. So we are trying to. And they say that people, you people who have a vow of chastity, you are the best people to teach us family planning, because it's nothing but self-control out of love for each other.
When you accepted the Nobel Peace Prize, you said the one thing that all men were hungering for was a peace of heart.
Yeah, and they have proved by giving that Nobel Prize that works of love are works of peace. And if we really listen to what Jesus has said, love one another as I have loved you, to be able to do that, we need to bring prayer into our lives, because people that pray, they stay together. And if they stay together, it's the beginning of love. They begin to love one another. And if they love one another, then there will be peace. I never forget, sometime in Calcutta, after that Nobel Prize, a beggar met me in the street. And he said, Mother Teresa, everybody is giving you, I want to give you also. And today, the whole day, I've just begged 1 penny in our very small amount of money, in Indian money. And I think he was very joyfully surprised that I accepted that small amount of money. It was just one rupee in our money. In your money is very little. But the joy and the real, I can't tell you the expression on the face of that man, because he was able also to give. And I can tell you sincerely that I felt that his gift was much greater than the Nobel Prize, because he gave all that he had.
So often you speak that the work of the missionaries of charity and how it started for you is to work one-to-one,
yes,
person to person.
Exactly.
I was wondering now, since all the attention and the awards and all that goes on, is it still possible for you to do it
very
one-to-one?
much, very much. Very much. It has not changed. It has given me extra burden. But this will pass off now. It's only today. By tomorrow it will be finished. This is also for the love of Jesus. If it was not for Jesus, I wouldn't do it. One way of proclaiming his love. And it gives the people a chance to share in the world. People, through this Nobel Prize, they have come to know the presence of the poor. Because I accepted that prize only in their name and for them. I don't need it. And so it has created concern, it has created desire to do so. Many people all over India and all over the world now, they're trying to do something, beginning with their own family, to find the poor. Very often we have our poor in our own family, we don't know even. The family life is very much broken. And if the families don't pray, it's very difficult to come to live together, to love one another, and to share the joy and the suffering together. That's what makes the family life livable, that oneness together, that living together. It's the same thing for us. If our lives are not woven with Jesus fully, we won't be able to do what we are doing, neither to live what we are living. Same for you people in the world, unless your lives are woven with each other and really loving each other and really helping each other to live a life of love and unity. It is not possible to stay together, and that's why we need to pray to be able to stay together. Prayer is the force that creates love, and once the love has been created, you have to put that into action. And that action is that serving one another. Same for us, we have given our lives to Christ, and that love for Christ, we need to put it into life. The poorest of the poor are the joy of being loved.
You said that you have never once felt as though you have an anniversary coming up. Next year will be 50 years.
Yeah, 50.
Would you take just a second? 50 years is
Beautiful, huh?
And you said once that you've never had a doubt in your mind that you made the right decision.
Yeah, and if I had to begin again, I would do the same thing. Maybe I'll do it with greater love, but I'll do the same thing. Because it is He and not I. And the work is His, not mine. I'm just a little instrument, a little pencil in His hand. The thinking, the writing is His. I'm just that little pencil which He uses. And when it breaks, it sharpens it a little bit each time. Thank you, and God bless you.
A means of your peace when there's